Hi. Um, we're a small group right now, and I'm just wondering if anyone has any specific questions about their meditation. Anything going well? Anything a little challenging? No, I don't hear anything. All right, no problem. Well, let's do some practice together then. Take a moment and just arrive here and now. For those of you who just joined us, you're very welcome. This is our weekly Thursday night open meditation, introduction to meditation. My name is Christina Monson, and I'm going to lead the practice tonight. And so I'm inviting everyone here to just take a moment, wherever you are, just kind of make sure you're in a comfortable seat, on a cushion or on a chair, whatever is working for you. Just retracting your attention back into yourself. Into your body, to your heart, to your mind. Just take a moment to do a brief scan, checking into physical sensations that might be there. Emotions that might be present. Thoughts that could be still lingering from the day's activities, or inviting what is to come next. And just give yourself kind of a mental permission to be fully present in this next hour. Become into more intimate relationship with yourself. And then we'll begin by just paying a little bit of attention to our posture, which is important in doing meditation. And so that means we are holding the body as upright as is comfortable for you. And even if physically you're just right where you need to be, energetically, you can bring a little bit of lift into your shoulders, to your chest. Signaling to yourself that you're going to be asking a different kind of attention for this next hour. So with your energy in your upper body, just take a moment and kind of resting your palms on your legs, wherever they may be, just kind of massage your knees or your thighs a little bit to just ground yourself, to just be aware through that tactile sensation of the strength of your legs, the lower part of your body that holds the upper part. And kind of massage your knees a little bit. Again, just signaling that we have this wonderful support, and the lower body for most of us does support the upper part of the body. So wherever it is right now, just feeling grateful for that groundedness through our lower body and our feet touching the earth, that we're connected and grounded there throughout the day. Your feet may be on the earth right now or on the floor. So just taking a moment to notice that sensation of them being there. One image that's often used for meditation is that of, say, a sack of grain that's been tied. It's heavy, it rests right on the earth. And when you just unzip it, all of the grain in it that's been held by the tie just kind of relaxes a little bit, while the sack still stays completely firm right there where it's put. And so just as you're firm from the bottom part of your body, you can also think about just kind of letting your shoulders come up to your near ears and then just letting them come down again. Like that sack of grain, just like falling a little bit lower. You might notice you've been carrying some tension in your shoulders and your neck, and you can just let that go. And with your gaze, you're going to be looking out kind of past the end of your nose. So not especially high, not especially down and low, but just kind of out into the space in front of you. Hands width or something across the end of your nose. Just letting your eyes remain open, although maybe slightly closed as the gaze is just a tad lower. And take a couple deeper breaths by drawing the air all the way into your belly and then releasing it, letting go of anything that you don't need to be carrying. And another deep breath all the way into the belly and releasing it as well in the same way. Third, one more time. So here you are. You're not too relaxed. You're not too tight and rigid. Just come to a comfortable place. And as we do in a very simple meditation practice, we bring our attention to the breath and thereby allow attention to gently ride your exhalation naturally out. Just letting go as that breath leaves your body and blends into the space all around you. Let the body just breathe itself with the inhalation, and once again on the exhalation, your attention lightly is focused there as the breath travels out through your nose and vanishes in the space around you. So this is the support that we're going to use for this practice. Of course, you can also watch the inhalation, but you don't need to hold or grasp it very tightly. The rhythm is more of just bringing the mind to the exhalation, letting it follow it out. It disappears. There's a gap, a space, an opening there. And then just naturally, there's an inhalation. And once again, attention is on the exhalation. So we'll meditate in this way for a few moments. You're breathing gently through your mouth, not extending the exhalations any more than they need to. If you notice your mind getting distracted by following thoughts, just gently return your attention to the breath, to the exhalation. As soon as you notice that, by just dropping it, and you're right back there. You can observe the quality of your attention. Does your mind stay where it's put? Does your attention stay on the exhalation? Or is it jumping around? It's a very gentle return. Whenever you notice that you've gotten distracted, it's a gentle return back to that focal point, the exhalation. And in that way, you train it. Any emotions, frustration, thoughts, regret that come about, those are all just to be dropped. In this practice, all thinking is the same, it's equal, whether good or bad. We don't mind the thinking, we just return attention to the exhalation. Just notice in your body if you've been somehow also getting tenser as you do the practice, and make sure that you just let go any kind of clenching you might have in your muscles. And relax deeply. Just letting go of everything. There's nothing to think about now. Just a gentle riding breath, quite relaxing. Okay. Now you can relax. How was that? How do you find that practice? How is it for you?
Great, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Carol. Sometimes we don't realize it, but we have a habit of tension. So no matter what we do, we bring that habit of tension to it. Intensity. There's a right way. There's a technique. Well, there is a technique. That's true. There is a technique. Yeah. Thank you, Tracy. Just a gentle ask there. If you can turn on your camera. Yeah. Hi, Catherine. Hi. Do you have some reflection to share? Anything?
All good here. This is so important. I do this with with my students too, and
Yeah.
I think I've explained to Tracy before that we sometimes and a lot of times need to take time for ourselves and do this, because if we can do this for ourselves, then we can help others as well. And I so appreciate you, Christina.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah.
I appreciate being able to connect with all of you here tonight
Yeah.
and do some practice together. It's something that's been on my mind quite a bit today is a teaching called the Four Seals in Buddhism. And particularly one of these is how everything that gathers parts, and that goes from the physical aggregates that have gathered together to be our bodies that support our minds. Eventually, these will all fall apart to kind of everything that's compounded in some way, different pieces coming together. That goes for relationships of all different kinds. And I think that I've been reflecting on that today, just due to various circumstances. And again, I don't offer it here as a place of morose reflection, but as a reminder of how things actually are. And this kind of reminder can be so helpful for us when life circumstances change. And I think a lot of the Buddhist mind teachings are there for us so that we can train our mind, definitely when we're in crisis. But in fact, when we're in crisis, it's much harder. So the point is to kind of use them when we're in states of stability in some way, so that then we have them at our disposal when hurricanes and tornadoes come into our lives. And just even that kind of spark, oh, yeah, nothing stays the same. All that gathers eventually must part. And we can choose how to incorporate that into our lives. We can choose to incorporate it as a reminder to savor the good, Ellie, thank you for joining us for the time that you have, and hope that you feel better. Thanks for letting us know that you're going to leave. And it struck me that we do have a choice much of the time, I would say, in how we relate to what's going on. And I think it's an important reminder that I'm giving myself here in front of all of you to savor more what is really good. I met a friend today, somebody I haven't seen in a year. This is a friend I see maybe once a year. We were sitting out in the garden, and it was spectacular light coming in at this moment. My friend was sitting across the table from me. There was a huge yellow sunflower right above their head. And the way the light was reflecting, and there was a cement wall with ivy behind, gray, and this bright yellow sunflower. It was a gorgeous picture, which I did snap right at that moment. And I think it's probably the best picture they've ever seen of themselves. And my friend is a photographer. It was really like, oh, okay, I'm going to show you something. And, sometimes the ease of taking pictures, in fact, removes us from being fully just present with what we're experiencing. But sometimes it also can just be that place where we could really appreciate and savor a moment of beauty. The way different circumstances come together, light and a smile and a flower. So taking to heart the seal that no matter what it is that's come together in our lives, it will disperse at some point. May allow us to savor more of those kinds of moments. All right, enough talking. Should we sit again? Do some more practice together? Let's do that. All right. Shamatha practice has a fabulous result when one does it a lot. The result is that mind stays where it's put. You can place it on an object, whatever support you decide on for your attention. You can place it there and it will stay. So it's tremendously beneficial to develop a capacity to focus, and it's actually extraordinarily calming and restful and rejuvenating. So let's again just retract back into body. Body is on the seat, cushion. Breath is in the body. We're just letting it be as it naturally is. And mind drops right down, connecting with the breath. And then also just dissolves into the circumference of awareness, which is what we're holding this entire scene with. You there in your homes, me here in mine, us connected through this miracle called the internet, through computer screens. And so you can use the same technique that we already did, just letting gently your attention be supported by the exhalation primarily. You can also just do that for a little while and then see what it feels like to let go of it. And let mind just naturally be as it is, without fabricating or meddling with its natural way and mode in any way whatsoever. Let's begin. See what it's like to be fully present without any disturbance about whether or not there are thoughts coming and going. Thank you. Take a moment and just reflect on that session. How was your mind? How was your body? How was the quality of your attention? It's very important to have a formal practice of meditation. If you're interested in having that, if you're interested in meditation. There are lots of benefits that have been scientifically studied and written about. And the way to start is small, committed sessions daily, if at all possible. I think sometimes people begin a practice of meditation and I think they need to sit for an hour every day, and that's hard and it gets really tiresome and they get disheartened and then they give up. It doesn't have to be an hour. It can be 5 or 10 minutes. Much more important than duration is regularity, continuity on a daily basis. And there's nothing that doesn't get easier with practice. That's what Shantideva has taught us, including meditation. It's nice to bring to practice a mind of non-judgment. Not a lot of expectation, not a lot of self-recrimination. I could only sit this long today. I felt like that was a waste of time. You know what? It's never a waste of time to just take some moments and settle down into a natural way of being present with oneself, which really is what meditation is about. And it brings so many physical benefits, it brings so many mental benefits, and these are accessible to anybody who takes it on. The key is to commit to what is doable and to stick with it to the best of one's capacity. If you can't do every day, then you could do every other day, or you aim for 4 days a week and you try your best. And it's through that regularity that ideas about meditation and what it may be become feelings that are more compelling. And when those feelings about it start to be experienced, then it has a momentum of its own. Then it starts to, where even, without having to force oneself to do it, it becomes more joyous. But sometimes at the beginning, there has to be a little bit of that discipline. What thoughts do you have, Deborah? Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
I guess I just want to. I don't want to backtrack, so feel free to reframe what my kind of sharing is. Kind of in two parts. So, for the last block of time, I was doing more of that kind of non-focusing meditation that Red and Kennedy was working with us on. And so I notice, and I'm really trying to move back to shamatha, and it's not been easy. I thought it would kind of just be easy. And so at the mind level, I feel like when I'm trying to stay with the breath, I naturally go into this more open space and forget to be with the breath. And then I come back. And so then that feels like a thought to me, not kind of a vipassana, right? And so I'm getting kind of confused of how to work with that more, to recreate that foundation, or where did it get lost? So it feels very kind of off in that way. And then at the physical level, when I am staying with the breath, I feel like there's a place, I don't know if what one call it, a plateau, or where I get, my physical body gets kind of caught on the breath and I can't relax any further. So it's kind of a, and so I don't know, I just wondered if you had something to say about either.
Thank you for sharing, Deborah. Well, one of the things that I would say, as you're experiencing, Deborah, there are so many techniques of meditation, right? And there's definitely supported and unsupported meditation. So supported meditation, we have an object for our attention that we are focusing on. And that can be the breath, that could be a visual object, that could be a sound, many, different kinds of choices there. And that's a specific kind of technique. The kind of meditation that Brendan, one of our other teachers here at the Padmasambhava Meditation Center, is focusing on is, I would say, unsupported. And generally what I find is, it's really useful to engage with each technique on its own. And if unsupported meditation is working well for you, Deborah, there's go with it. There's just no problem with that. Now, if you then kind of come back and notice that when you're sitting in a practice of shamatha, which is using the support of the breath, and you just kind of naturally then expand out into more of an unsupported meditation of resting in awareness, there's nothing wrong with that. The key would be to have the mindfulness and the introspection sharp enough to detect if there are subtle levels of thinking still murmuring around, right? And then to be working with thoughts as per that technique. But I think if you find you just kind of naturally move into that, I wouldn't say that's distraction from by thought necessarily. There are, if you're not experiencing any kind of gross thinking. I don't know if that's helpful for you.
Yes, it is. And so, because I feel like I need that support back, I want to be able to have that. And so you're saying then the noticing is, where am I in that spectrum of techniques, and to be able to intentionally be in a certain place as opposed to by default, or
Yeah.
I might, because I'm not even sure really where I am anyway, even if I were right.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah. I think it's helpful to just kind of chew the bite of food you have in your mouth. So if that's shamatha, then really make sure that that's thoroughly chewed. And in terms of the second part of what you shared, Deborah, like a kind of a plateau or the breath getting stuck, I just wonder if it could be that there's too much focus on the breath, because breath is just natural. We're not trying to elongate it. It's just as we naturally breathe. And so when you're not meditating, if it's not getting stuck in any way, it may be that then there's a certain quality of too much focused attention on it that could be causing some tension in the body then, and it makes it feel less natural or is catching in that way, which is one reason I try to emphasize it's a light touch with the attention. It's not a glomming on and a holding kind of. It's a light touch. Yeah. So maybe that's something, to play around with it next time.
Super helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other thoughts? It's so nice to look at the Padmasambhava Meditation Center. I thought I saw one person there, but it doesn't look like there's anybody there now. There was one person. Great. Well, we're happy that that person joined. Allie, wonderful. Great. Well, I'm going to wish everyone a wonderful rest of their evening, as it's 7 o'clock. And I was really happy to be able to connect with all of you tonight. Joy and Catherine, Nancy, Faith, Carol, James, Deborah, Kim. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you, Tracy, for hosting so flawlessly with that fabulous system there. That's really, really, thank you. Lots of love to you for all of this amazing support. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your night. Go peacefully, go well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, dear Sangha.
Bye-bye.
Everybody, good night.
Night.
Have a good night. Thank you.